Hey guys, welcome back, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Dirt Road Therapy. On this adventure, we're spending 3 days between Vermont and New Hampshire. I'm going to be honest, my understanding of the Northeast was that it was all private property or private parks. I did not know about Class 4 roads and what they could be, or any of the historic roads that exist throughout these areas. We are also going to visit a park in New Hampshire, and it's not even a private park, it's part of public land. Buckle up because this is a pretty awesome multi-part adventure. Brought to you as always by Pine Grove Premium Outfitters. Be sure to check them out with the link in the description below for t-shirts, hoodies, and more.
I am headed up to Vermont, ultimately, meeting up with Tim in New York. Plan was to meet for lunch in Albany. I did a couple things in my Jeep before this trip. One of the things was to rotate the tires. And I took it for a drive after that, and everything seemed fine. I moved the Jeep this morning and heard a terrible rubbing. It sounded like the tire was contacting a control arm or something like that. That's not possible with my setup, so I had to figure out what it was. Turns out, long story short, the wheel weights were ripped off the inside of my wheel. They're stick-on style wheel weights. They all got ripped off, I believe, on one of the brackets up front. Could be kind of the old sway bar mount. But either way, front left wheel has almost no wheel weights on it, and it's wobbling a little bit. We're gonna stop at a Mavis Discount Tire in Albany. Tim's gonna meet me there, drop this thing off, they'll balance my tires, we'll go to lunch.
So what's the purpose of this? Because if you had lights on it or something, it would make total sense, but it's not a roll bar. It's not a light bar. It's just a bar. Heading out of Mavis. These guys took care of my tire issue, I think. Haven't had it up to 60 plus yet, but they gave it a clean report of being able to balance all the tires and everything, so good to go. All right, so we got a little surprise coming up. I was looking at the map when we were planning our route up here, and we're making a stop, meeting up with Ron Harrington of Ridgeback Guide Service. Close to his place, I saw something on the map that always jumps out at me whenever I see it, and we're gonna check it out.
$1932.
That's cool. Found it. Oh, that's sweet. Check out that flag. And nice oak steps. So that was totally worthwhile. Pretty cool, easy hike up to that tower. Pretty short climb and really nice view, as you would expect. It's kind of my favorite thing about towers, of course, is the view. So now we gotta hit the pavement again and meet up with Ron. Mr. Ron. What's up?
Just, chilling in Bennington. Ron's taking us to a campsite, well, tour of campsites basically. We're going to check on availability of lesser choices, I guess you'd say. And then we're going to check out the ultimate choice. And if that one's available, we'll snag it. If not, go back to the others. That didn't take long at all. Within, 15 minutes from Bennington, Ron had us on these beautiful back roads. Gravel road. Following a stream, we've crossed it several times. Temperature's dropping. It's perfect.
We ended up settling for one of the lesser campsites. I think this is the one I would have picked anyway because it was spectacular. Tim grilled up some steak and made us walking tacos, while I struggled with wet firewood to get us something of a fire going. Thankfully, it was the worst fire we had the whole trip.
There's like 2 or 3 campsites in there, and it's open field. One of them, when you go up in there, you'll see it. There's like a scrub of trees, I shouldn't say scrub of trees, but there's trees in this one section, and people camp underneath the trees, and that's where your camp spot is.
That was just day 0, getting to where we were starting. You're going to want to keep watching for day 1 because what we're about to see and conquer really blew my mind. I did not expect to find this in Vermont.
He made it. Good morning, sir.
Hello there.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Nice to see you.
You're on camera.
Nice.
John's cooking breakfast.
Nice. Made it just in time.
We're calling this day 1. Yesterday was day 0, and we are headed back out the way we came in from our campsite, which was awesome. Thanks to Ron for finding us a great spot. We would have totally missed that spot very easily if it wasn't for Ron knowing about it. So it was just off the beaten track enough that it was not easily seen and therefore used. And now we are headed to get some maple creamies for breakfast. You'll see in a minute what a maple creamy is. It's not really a breakfast food, but it's going to be delicious. None of us have had a Vermont maple creamy before, except for Ron, of course. And then we're going to hit the trail. Oh, it gives it away. That's a maple creamy.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes. Oh, there's bigger ones. Yes.
Is the cream machine going or?
That is delicious.
Photobomb denied. So we're all aired down, ready to head out onto some trails, I guess more like dirt roads. After that, we'll go up the Chateauguay Road, which is kind of going to be the highlight of this, well, the Vermont portion of this trip.
When I go up this way and I roll through and I don't see you, I'm a little disappointed. Yeah. Like, there's some environmental people that bitch about this, that you drive the river, and I'm like, I didn't put the river in the road. In a couple of storms, there's another log here, and then it started collecting up with debris.
Look at this thing.
And then they had a big thing and washed all the sand down. The sand piled up right here. And then it forced it and cut it down that road. So this is the road. This is where the creek used to go. Now it goes down.
Now it goes that way. And then we got this bug just buried.
Like, this is awesome.
Trains and everything still. We went from a dirt road that was fairly technical, with a few stream crossings as we went along, to what Ron just explained, where the creek used to go down past where that old bug was, and the road would have just crossed it. But due to a log coming down, that old car there, and a bunch of sediment building up, the creek has now diverted itself down the road. So this next portion is what looks like us rock crawling through a creek. But we're actually still on the marked trail. The creek just chooses to go where we go.
Move us! Woo!
Ron, what are you doing?
Plate.
Ah. Is that the one that was rubbing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you, like, can you shift it?
You can see it catching right here, catching on that weld right there.
Ah.
When it flexes.
It's almost lunchtime, and we still have two major spots that we want to hit yet. One is a trail that Ron's bringing us to, which he calls the Ledges, and the other is Chateauguay Road. I didn't know what to expect from the trail that Ron's bringing us to, and I only had a slight idea of what to expect from Chateague. I'll say this, when you know what to look for, Vermont does not disappoint.
This is one of those trails that I would definitely be a little bit nervous to try without a guide like Ron, because there's a house right here. The map ends, and we head onto this dirt road. Dirt trail, rather. From a gravel road to a dirt trail. And no private property signs or anything like that. It just kind of seems like it might not be the place you should be. But Ron is the guide, and he knows where to take us. So I trust it.
This is pretty cool. It's something you don't see where I'm from. This road passes through someone's private property. However, they're not trying to block access to the road. They just need a gate so that their livestock, this alpaca in this case, can cross the road between the two different pastures. All they ask is that we respectfully open and close the gate as we pass through.
Revolutionary War graves. Winslow Phelps. Rebecca Phelps. Is this one of the kids? Infant son. 1820.
That was a really neat stop, and cool to see the history of those Civil War graves kept up in that little section of field. And now we're headed to the Ledges Trail. Of course, it never comes through on camera how steep something is, and this trail, while not dangerously steep, still has a good bit of slope to it, and adding to that, the rocks are mostly very loose, the ledges are slippery, and we might have been a little bit cocky.
Go. Go, go, go. There you go. Nice, keep her moving.
Trying a slightly different line than the others, here's where I got way too cocky. This ledge just did not want me to crawl it this way. Coming down the other side of the hill, towards the end of the trail, was no joke either. A couple really gnarly drop-offs and washouts. We all made it through unscathed, and now it's off to Chateauguay Road before we head to where we're going to make camp tonight.
Chateauguay Road, fun part. Probably the best part of the day.
Probably. I mean, it's been great so far.
It has been. This is supposed to be the highlight, so we'll see.
We'll see. At the end of the trip, it was the highlight.
Yeah. This is kind of the main attraction what we came here for, and it's already looking pretty sweet. Basically a creek bed, and we're driving up it. Very old road.
That was way more fun than I thought it would be.
Chateauguay Road didn't prove to be incredibly difficult, but it was a ton of fun. It's basically one long creek bed climb. Not a lot of real loose rocks, some pretty big boulders throughout. Just a great time from the bottom to the top. When we reached the top of the trail, it was time for Ron to part ways, and us to find camp. Successful run on Chateague.
That was awesome.
Ron, you gotta get going.
I
Thank
do.
you so much for your guiding.
You're welcome.
And
Thanks, man.
we would not have found that camp spot without you last night.
Last night, as you saw earlier in the video, Ron and Tim were discussing a campsite for tonight. Of course, we're hoping the most premium site is available. But if not, like I said before, as long as you know where to look in Vermont, you're only going to find great things.
Made it to camp. Wasn't the ideal spot. We're right next to the most ideal spot out here. But I don't sleep in my Jeep, so I took this spot here. Tim and Jamie are sleeping in both in their vehicles, so they kind of wanted the flatter spots. They got leveled up there. But we're about to start cooking some dinner, foraging for some wood, and making a fire. Check out this view here. We're gonna have to set up some time lapse.
Bangers and mash. Sausage and mashed potatoes. Got mashed potatoes.
Taters.
Gravy.
Gravy.
Sausage. Mashed potatoes down first, or separate, doesn't matter, however you like it. I usually just put it all, mashed potatoes, sausage,
All right.
gravy on top. Delicious.
Love it. What was your favorite part of the day?
I liked all of it. Chateague was pretty cool. I like the steps that we did.
You like
That
the
middle
steps on that
Yeah, that was
back
cool.
road?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I did not take a good line on that one. I'm gonna cop out and say Chateague just because I built up the hype and it lived up to it. So, yeah, I just had so much fun on that. non-stop action.
That was rocking for sure. Yeah, it's kind of, there weren't any real dead spots. I think for me specifically, the second ledge that we did where we had the drone set up, that was,
Yeah, you made it up the hard line.
yeah.
I didn't.
Barely.
I couldn't get my back tire on that one rock. I kept
But you
sliding off
you
it.
kept saying on the radio, it's your rear diff, it's your rear diff. I'm like, I know, but it's like barely.
Yeah.
I can't even feel it hitting it. Like, I can't be that stuck on it. I want this line.
It was fun. My honorable mentions for the day would be the alpacas.
Yes.
And what I didn't get on video, but maybe I might be able to cop a photo from you, but we just saw a red moon come up, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
was really awesome.
Hey everybody, remember that this was just day 1 of a 3-day adventure. There's still a lot more to come. Make sure that you like this video and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one.
Cheers to Vermont.
What did you do?
We're doing a Scotto pizza